Hi guys. Okay. Um again, I'm new to the Pages router in Next.js, and I've had some trouble with it, which of course right now I have solved, so I'm making a video about it. It's about how this page props gets carried over. So I think it's called currying, although I'm not sure the exact term, but let's just say that this page props becomes available through a function called get server side props. And I think it is also accessed with the get static props. Although I have only tried it with get server side props right now. Anyway, so what I wanted is to have my session passed on through all of my pages. And I was shocked to see that the page props was empty and the session did not exist. And I didn't know that you actually need to use the get server side props function. Okay, so anyway, here, what you need to know is that the page props that you see over here, which is what we declared in the type, which is, yeah, over here, app type. Yeah, like that, see? And that we can actually declare any kind of values inside. And and then we can actually pass this from this component or file called underscore app.tsx, which pretty much serves as the quote unquote layout for your overall application and the pages router in Next.js. And based on what I showed you guys earlier, before from the previous video, I just have an explain worked on here, and we can just declare this to true on a page if it is still being developed. So if I go to my, let's say, yeah, index.tsx page, we can see that we actually have here a condition wherein if the process or if the node environment is not equal to that of development, so this is actually automatically detected in, let's say, hosting platforms, I think, and of course in your emulator as well, like dev environment, localhost, either if it's in production or development. Okay, and if I go to my sign in, excuse the type of any right now because this is just I just found out about this recently, so I haven't fiddled around enough to know the exact type. And anyway, this is from the TRPC and T3 stack, and I'm new to it as well. Anyway, to actually, so what happens here is that when we have this, that means this overall component or file is now a server component. So this lives in the server. So what this means is that the HTML file, or yeah, the HTML or overall component will be rendered in the server or in the hosting platform or wherever that's not on the client or browser. So it's being processed there. So that means we can have like the request or response which is available on the server. So those are like uh, HTTP requests, somewhat like those, like those. Of course, you should do your own research, but anyway, let me move on. I just pass it on here, and since the get server or session here accepts the request and the response, which I don't know the exact type yet, I just pass it on over there, and I get it from this function. Okay, and once we get the session, of course, we will await it. Since this is asynchronous, so this is just from the library. Yeah, I think it's from a library, and this here is just bootstrapped for me to, as you can see here, to not declare the auth options in every file. So what we're returning here is that we want to return the props, and that props will have this object right here, or this props is equal to an object with the keys of session, and the value of the session is equal to the value over here of the variable session. And now with this will now be carried over to the layout over here. And since we're passing on the session or page props to our pages, which is down here, the page will now have access to the session up here, server side. And the benefit of server side is that we don't have to show the page when the server. So like when we check for the session, oh no no no. In our implementation, actually, we need to show the page for a bit. Yeah, because this router here is only lives client side. Okay. Ah, yeah. So the beauty for this is that we actually don't need to declare like a use session. So use session is available in Nextauth. It's pretty much a client side hook or yeah, context hook which returns a session and the state of the session. And you can also update the sessions if I import that and over it. Let's wait for it to load. Okay, let's just actually const an object here. So we'll have three stuff, which is data, status, and update. Oh, that's why we actually need to invoke this. I forgot. Excuse me. Anyway, as you can see, so update is pretty much updating the session, changing its values, status, as it loading, there we go, authenticated or unauthenticated, and data is the same as the session. Okay, so since use session will have a loading state, that means it will actually like make our page a little bit slower as well. At the same time, with using this server side, we can save some time, I guess, and it's in the server as well. We can get the session on the server. So that's pretty much it. This took pretty long, although I just wanted to share with you guys about get server side props because I struggled with implementing this authentication. Although it's like just using a framework, as you know, if you don't know the framework or what you're doing, generally it's going to be difficult. But yeah, I I pushed myself and hope that you won't experience what I experienced. And I should actually remove this, I think. I think I should not. It's because it's being exported. But anyway, that's all. And I hope you enjoyed and good luck with your development journey. Happy learning.